Hi guys, so this video is basically going to do a recap of Unit 3 to this point. So I'm going to do a little review of every different type of problem, and then you'll have to complete some problems in this same file for review. Okay, so I'll have this file in here twice, one for the notes and one for you to complete. And then I will be pushing out the quest. It's bigger than a quiz, smaller than a test. Okay? All right, so first of all, we started this unit talking about slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, right? So this first problem that I'm going to go through is given a graph, write the equation in slope-intercept form. So the things we need to do that, if we want to write it in slope-intercept form, we need m and we need b. So b is our y-intercept and m is our slope. So my b is down at -3, and my m, it crosses evenly there and here. So it goes up 3, right 1. So my slope would be 3 over 1. So y equals 3x minus 3. Okay, so that's given a graph, right? The equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, this next problem right here, this is given in standard form. Okay, so standard form, okay, and this over here is just a little recap. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So that means x and y are on the same side, and there are no fractions. Okay, so this is in standard form, but we want to take it to slope-intercept form. So we need to solve for y. So let's subtract x from both sides. Don't lose the negative in front of that y. They don't combine. Now, you can't leave, this is technically a -1 out front, so let's divide everything by a -1. So y equals x plus 7. Now, let's just pretend, total side note, okay, that, oh, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Sorry. Ignore my thought there. Okay, so that's going from standard form to slope-intercept form. Now, this is what I was going to talk about. Let's go from slope-intercept form, okay, to standard form. So we have to get x and y on the same side. So first let's add over this 7/4 x. This is an x, this is a y, so those don't combine. So I have 7/4 x plus y equals 1. Now you can't have any fraction or decimal. So to get rid of this, we just multiply by whatever that denominator is. So, but we have to multiply everything by 4. So if you use your calculator here, you should get 7x plus 4y equals 4. So we have x and y on the same side, no fractions or decimals. So that's going forwards and backwards from slope-intercept to standard or vice versa. Okay, then we also wrote things in slope-intercept form given different pieces. So in this next section, okay, we're given a point and a slope, and we need to write it in slope-intercept form. So remember, this is your m, and this is an x, and this is a y. So let's plug in what we have. So y is 5 equals m is 3/2, x is 4 plus b. So now let's solve for b. If you use a calculator here, you're going to get 6. So subtract the 6, and you get -1 for b. Now your final answer should only have the m and the b. Don't keep the x and y plugged in. So y equals 3/2 x minus 1. Okay? Then we said, okay, let's write it in slope-intercept form if we're only given 2 points. So we got to find our m first. So remember, m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's label these, x1, y1, x2, y2. So 2 minus a -2. Be very careful there, minus a negative. So that's going to turn to a plus. So that's 4. And then 5 minus 0. Oops, not 10. Why is this not erasing? Okay. So minus 0. So that's 5. So my m is 5/4. So now pick one of these ordered pairs. It doesn't matter which one for your x and y. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. Okay, so y equals m x plus b. Well, that's convenient. Anything times 0 is 0, so my b is simply -2. Which, if you think about it, we knew that was our y-intercept, because if you ever have 0, comma, a number, that is your y-intercept. So y equals 4/5 x minus 2. Okay. Then the next thing we talked about were parallel and perpendicular lines. So remember, for parallel lines, right, they have the same slope. Perpendicular are opposite reciprocal. Right, so let's go through one of each of those. Okay, so the only thing I'm using this equation for is to pull out that my slope is a negative 3/4. After I do that, I am done with that and I don't need it anymore. Okay, so this is my x and this is my y. So y equals mx plus b. Add that over and my b is 5. So my equation would be y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. We didn't use that 3. No. Okay? Now to do perpendicular. So here in this, my slope is 3. So remember, this is the symbol for perpendicular. So my perpendicular slope would be opposite. So since this is positive, we'd make it negative. And this is technically 3 over 1, so flip it to 1 over 3. So this is the slope I need. I'm done with that. So here's my x, here's my y. So y equals mx plus b. Add that 1 over, and b is negative 2. So y equals negative 1/3 x minus 2. Okay. The last thing we did then was absolute value equations. So I'm actually going to go through a couple of these because there's a couple different types that we worked through. Okay. Whoa. So first thing, you always need to have the absolute value bars isolated or by themselves, which in this one, they are. So then from there, we do what I say branch. So 1, the way it is, except for the absolute value bars, and then 1 where it's equal to the negative of this piece right here. And then we solve each one. So here, x is negative 3, and here, x is a positive 3. So if you plug either of those in and then take the absolute value of it, you would get out 24. All right, now here, the absolute value bars are not by themselves. You have this divide by 4 on the bottom. So if we're dividing to get rid of division, we do the opposite, which is multiplication. So let's multiply to each side. So the absolute value of b minus 9 equals 20. Now the absolute value bars are by themselves, and we're ready to branch. b minus 9 equals 20, and b minus 9 equals negative 20. Add 9, add 9, and we are good to go. Once again, if you'd plug either of those in, you should get out 5 when you do all the operations. So here, once again, absolute value bars are not by itself, so you have to add the 2 first. Okay, so I have 15. Now we're ready to branch. So set it equal to 15 and negative 15. Add the 9, divide by 6. Add the 9, divide by 6. Okay? All right, so here we have a lot going on. Do not, I repeat, do not combine those. Okay? That 9 is technically being multiplied by that. But also, don't distribute that 9 in. You don't want to distribute into absolute value bars. So first, let's add this 10 to the other side. Now, let's divide the 9 to the other side. Now we have the absolute value bars by itself, and we're ready to branch. So set it equal to 7 and negative 7. So add 3 and divide. Add 3 and divide. And you could totally give me the decimal answer here of 0.4, or you could say 4 over 10, or 2 over 5. It's up to you. All right. So I'm going to have you work through the even problems. Actually, which ones did I do? I did it. Probably the odd problems. I could. Okay. So I will list them out, though, in the plan. Don't you worry. And the test will be pushed out as well. Please reach out at any time if you need any help. I hope you are well.